I got this today in the mail from Discount Mylar Bags. It's a company I've never dealt with, but we'll see what we have here. We have an invoice or packing slip. So you got 5,300 oxy-free. Now, if this is oxy-free, those are going to be good oxygen absorbers, and 7.5 Mylar bags. So if these are okay, so these are brand name oxy-free oxygen absorbers. I know these are going to be really good, but we'll test one anyway just for the fun of it. And the bags look like a standard bag, but we'll test these also. So here we go. We are continuing our review on Discount Mylar bags. These are the oxygen absorbers, and I don't feel bad about these at all. We'll go ahead and test them. I tested them before, but these are from Oxy-Free, and they are a really good brand. Shouldn't be a problem. So I'm just going to take one out of here right now, and then I'm going to seal the bag up again. And we're going to give it a good old test. Feels nice and soft, just like flour. So, like I said, these are a good absorber, but we'll test them anyway, just to keep everything honest. And let's see what time it is. It is 7 o'clock in the evening. So the test begins. Our first dump is 11 hours into this project. And so we have 197 cc's that we're going to empty out. This is dump number 2. We're 17 hours into this. We're 26 hours into this experiment, and this is the third dump we're doing. We're 45 hours into this, and this is our fourth dump. So we're right around 800 cc's. It has been 122 hours or 5 days, and this has stopped sucking up. So we're going to come in here and we're going to mark the water level and do our 6th and final dump. So we got up to this location right here. So we're going to go ahead and add all this up and see how much this has absorbed. This is the result of our test on the oxygen absorber from Oxy-Free. So this amount right here is 300 cc's. That is what this oxygen absorber is rated to. Well, this one did pretty good. So not only did it suck up the 300 cc's, but it also did this 300 cc's, and this 300 cc's, and this 300 cc's, but it also did 206. So altogether, we have 1,106 cc's of absorption power that this little guy did. So that is pretty good. Now, I've done Oxy-Free in the past. It's a good absorber. So I have absolutely no problems with this particular brand. But we're still going to cut it open and dissect it and see what's inside. I have a fresh oxygen absorber from Discount Mylar bags, and this oxygen absorber is actually manufactured by a company called Oxy-Free. This is one of the few oxygen absorbers that actually put their name on their product, but however they still don't include country of origin and what this bag is rated for. But according to what I ordered, this is supposed to be a 300 cc bag. So we're going to go ahead and take a look to see how much this weighs. And we have 8 grams of weight, which is pretty common. So we're going to open this guy up, and we're going to see what's inside. Now, I guess my only criticism of discountmylarbags.com is I requested an SDS, which was formerly an MSDS, and they did not provide one. And shame on them. Anyone that is doing a business, and if they have any products that has any chemicals inside, they are required by U.S. law to provide an SDS if requested. And that's the reason if one of my grandkids or my dog or someone were to ingest the contents of this, the doctor or the poison control people would need to know what's inside of this. So for the fact that they did not provide an SDS sheet to me, shame on them, and they need to get their act together. And if they're going to run a business, they have to follow the laws. So anyway, enough of that lecture. So the contents of this absorber is 7 grams, which would mean that the package is going to be 1 gram, which it is. Okay, so we're going to see what's inside of here, and it's probably going to be, you know, the standard iron powder, and it's going to be like carbon and some kind of salt. So we're going to get our magnets out, and we're going to sweep this and get all the iron powder up and see how much this actually has. Okay, it looks like I have 1 gram of other ingredients here. But we're going to make sure that's correct. So we're going to do this one more time and see what else is in here. So it looks like we have a little bit more on the other ingredients. So it looks like it's up to 2 grams. So we have 2 grams of other ingredients, and that would mean, if I can do basic subtraction, we should have 5 grams of iron powder, which we do. So they say that 5 grams of iron powder should be able to pick up 300 cc's. So altogether, this oxygen absorber, if it works properly, should pick up 1,500 cc's of oxygen in a perfect world. And our test picked up 1106, so that's pretty good. Not bad for this oxygen absorber. So there's never a possibility where this iron powder is going to be spent somehow. From manufacturing through packaging, some of this iron powder is going to be contaminated, so we're not going to ever get the true 1,500 cc's. But 1106, that's pretty darn good. If we are to reassemble this is the iron powder. We're back to 5 grams. This is our secondary ingredients. Back to 7 grams. And then our packaging comes back to 8 grams. So this, once this is all mixed back together again, this is what I mean by it needs to be a fine powder. And I always liken this being kind of like flour, just maybe a little bit more grittier than fine flour would be. But to give you an idea between this fresh one here and this one that I ran my test on, now if you take a look at this one right here, there's actually big chunks of iron, almost like small pea gravel. So that's the difference. And also, I don't know if you can tell the difference here, but this is quite black, and this kind of has a brownish hue to it. So it lost some color here. So this is a spent oxygen absorber that kind of feels like sand and gravel. This is a fresh oxygen absorber that feels more like flour. Our next test is going to be with the Mylar bag. Now, I found this Mylar bag to be pretty interesting, and I kind of like some of the features out of it. So, you know, it has the traditional sealing around the outside, not a big deal, but it has tear strip tabs down here on the bottom, and also has tear strip tabs here on the top. So there's two sets of tear strip tabs. I kind of like that. So anyway, we're going to open this up, and we're going to measure the thickness. Now, I do not know if this is polyester or actual Mylar, and you know my feelings on that. So we're going to go ahead and open this. So the inside, outside pretty much looks the same, nothing spectacular. So we're going to take this piece right here, and this is our measuring device that measures mils and microns, and we're going to be measuring mils, and we're going to see how this comes out. Okay, so I did 29 measurements, and the average is 7 mils. So on this bag is 7 mil. Now, something interesting happened while I was testing this, and I'm going to test this once again because it seemed like the back side of this bag was a different mil thickness than this side of the bag. So I'm going to do some more testing and see if something's kind of weird here. Okay, so I did 10 tests on this side. The average is 7.1. So this is 7.1 mil on this side. Now we're going to test this side. Okay, so that tests out okay first. For a minute there I thought that one side was a little bit thinner than the other. So these both come out to be a 7 mil bag. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take a quick gander at their website and see what they have to offer. So this is the landing page for discountmylarbags.com. It's like about every other website. However, it does say right here, Discount Mylar Bags is the largest food storage focused supply provider on the internet. Well, that's a pretty big claim to say, but maybe they are. So anyway, as you can see, they have several different products here. We're going to jump over here to the 1 gallon Mylar bags. These are the ones that pretty much everyone, well, I wouldn't say everyone uses, but a large amount of people. Now, the first thing that I noticed right here is they're saying it's 7.5 mil on their 10 by 14. On my tests, I came up, I believe, was 7.1 mil, but that's okay. You get the, industry standard on ASTM is plus or minus about 10% on the film thickness. So they're still within the specifications. One thing I've also noticed right here, they say that the brand of the bags are from a company called Shield Pro, and Shield Pro is actually Shield Pro Flexible Packaging LLC, located in Lewisburg, Tennessee, which is basically the same company as discountmylarbags.com. Now, as far as the oxygen absorbers are from Fresh Us, which is a pretty popular company. I don't have any problems with their product. I've used them before, and they're pretty decent stuff. And as they say, 300 cc oxygen absorbers, not a problem with that. They give free shipping apparently. Oh, one other thing they do that I didn't mention is they have this thing called shiny points. So when you order stuff from them, you get so many points, and once you get 250 shiny points, apparently you get like $5 off. So there's a frequent reward program with discount Mylar bags. I'm not quite sure how many points like $1 would equal, but you'll probably have to go around in here and maybe find out what it says. But anyway, here's a product description on their oxygen absorbers. You can go to their website and read that if you'd like. This is the location of Discount Mylar bags in beautiful Lewisburg, Tennessee. Looks like he works out of this somewhat industrial building. And it kind of looks like it's in an industrial area of Lewisburg. Now, what's interesting is that this also shares the same name and address of Shield Pro Flexible Packaging LLC. So it looks like they're one and the same. And if I got my research correct, apparently Shield Pro Flexible Packaging also shares the same address. It looks like the owner is a Tobias Truman. Apparently they've been in business for about 9 years, have annual sales around $251,000, and there is a single employee on site. Now that could or could not be accurate, but that's what my research shows. And it looks like their primary business is importing, which is probably importing their bags and oxygen absorbers. Whether or not they do any manufacturing on site for the storage bags is unknown. This is Discount Mylar bags. I really didn't have any problems with this particular company. They're pretty much, I would say, generic compared to other companies on the internet. Whether they're the largest, really can't address that. But I didn't find any problems with that other than they did not send me an SDS sheet, which they really should have. And I did request some information on their bag material, and I have not yet received that. So thank you for your time, and stay tuned, and I will be reviewing another company shortly. And once again, thank you for your time, and go forth and freeze dry the world.